itself, and then we'll worry about making these holes on top of it. But we can make the holes pretty easily using the 3D modeling feature, so we'll show you how to do that. So let's first start out with this base plate, making the overall dimensions of it. Looks like it's what, 11 by 4 and an extruded distance of 0.5. So start Inventor with a new part. And so that part there, rectangle. Let's see here, the dimensions of it. The height of it was 4, and the width of it was 11. Now remember, we could do this before or after, but we need to fillet those edges. So looking at this, the note here, it says it's a radius 0.5 typical. So all 4 corners are 0.5. So we can either do that now or later, whichever works, but I'm just going to do it now. 0.5. Oh, so fillet, set the radius to 0.5. Come here to these corners and fillet the edges. Again, I could have extruded this out and then added these fillets later, or I could fill it now and they'll be there when I extrude it, whatever works. So we'll finish that, and now we need to extrude it out, and this needs to extrude out a distance of 0.5. Oh, to 0.5, gotta do it in that window. All right, now looking at this part real fast, let's go ahead and place these holes in. So one thing we can do to place a hole in is we don't necessarily need to create a sketch every time, especially when we're dealing something like this where it's linear or rectangular. So when we have a part open, so let's start with this first one here. This first guy here, there's 2 of them, so it's first off it's a 0.25 through hole, and then there's a counter sink to it with the angle. That's outside diameter 0.5 with the angle. And then here's the note that there's 2 of them. So it's this guy and this one. Those are the 2 that are that size. So to do that, if I go ahead and open up Inventor, notice while I'm in 3D mode, I can still go ahead here to hole. And the placement here, instead of it being from the sketch, which is what we've been doing so far by clicking on a point, if we have linear selected, all you have to do is select a face that you want a hole to go onto. So if I select this face here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock onto my view here so I can see it straight on. Okay, but if I want my hole on this spot right here, now it's looking for references in terms of dimensions. So if I say, hey, I want you to be from this line up here, I want you to be 2 inches from that line. Now you might notice that as I'm trying to type in here, this is one of those boxes where it's going to just keep doing what the number 1 there. So a way around this is if you come up here to like this window right here where it's a search bar and type in what you want. So in this case I want to type in 2. I'm going to highlight it, Control C for copy it up there, and then I can come down here and paste it. So I guess we'll have to do it that way for now. So the reference from the top here needs to be 2, and then the reference from second reference, so if I select the second reference, and so from this line, that distance here, I'm going to again type it up here first. This distance is 0.4375, and so I'll select it, Control C for copy, and then paste it down here. All right, and so this hole, looking at the notes of it, it's a countersink, so I got to change it to a countersink. The outside diameter of it is 0.5. The inside diameter of the cut, in this case, is 0.25. Has the angle of 82 degrees cut on that. And it looks like it's good to go. So we can go ahead and hit OK or apply. And there's our first hole. We can do the same thing over here. So go ahead and hit hole, because that should be the current hole on that. So without changing anything, I'm just going to again select the face here. Now I need to do the reference points. So from the top here, this is 2. So come up here. Well, actually with that one selected, might as well. Let's select this line and quickly do it as 0.4375. So control 0.4375. It looks like this somehow automatically went to 2, so I could come up here, copy, paste, but it looks like we're good to go. That hole's all good. Hit apply. So there's our 2 holes there. Now we also have, it looks like a 0.3125 through hole, and there's 2 of them, both distances here. So let's go ahead and put those ones in. Grab the hole command, place on the sketch, change this to a through hole that is a diameter of 0.3125. My reference 1, so from up top, this is 2. So type up 2 up here, Control C, Control V. So ridiculous, but this is the way the cookie crumbles. Reference 2, this one is 1.5. So 1.5, Control C, Control V. So there's our first one, looks good, and it's all the information's right on it. And we got one more to place. So hole on the sketch, reference 0.1, this is 2. Reference 2, in this case, this one is 5.5. All right, so far so good. Those are the 4 holes that we need to take care of. In addition, though, on the opposite side of this, there are 4 holes in each of the corners. So looking at this part here, there's 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, and 4. They are 8 UNC, 832 UNC, so they are threaded holes, or in this case tapped. There is the how far they go down, the threading on it, and there's 4 of them. So let's go ahead and place that in. Now what we can do with this hole is, since this is actually centered on this kind of outside arc here, we can use the hole command. So flip this to the other side, grab the hole. It's looking for a face, so place it on any face. But rather than using this linear here, they have one that's called concentric, which again is looking for a center of an arc. So we should be able to come here and place it on that face, and then grab that circular face, or that circular shape there, and it will put the hole on that center point there, which is kind of nice. So in this case, this hole was, it was a tapped hole, so we'll click on this. In this case, it was an 832. So to find number 8, if you scroll up, you'll see right here, like number 8, number 6. These are metric setups. So let's grab number 8. So this is 832 UNC. The class, it's not listed, so we'll just go with the standard 2B. But the depth that it's cut down through, and this is not a through all, there's a distance here, but this is just going down a distance of 0.2875 on both the threading and how far the depth of the cut is, 0.2875. Okay, so both the threading and the cuts, 0.2875. Let's go ahead and hit OK. And so it put that nice little threaded cut hole there, and that hole should not go all the way through, and it didn't. Good. And then just like we have in the past, let's use rectangular pattern to pattern these across here. Or it'd be a lot easier if I just placed those concentric holes. Now that I've made the features for that hole, I can just do it that way as well. Go to the hole command, and again grab the concentric and just place a bunch on here. So I want that face, and I want it to be concentric to that one. Apply. I want one on this face and concentric to that arc, and apply. And I want one over here on this face and concentric to that point, and okay. So a bunch of different ways to do it, whichever way works for you. We just put a bunch of holes on this part. It looks good to go. The only thing we're missing is the chamfer. And so similar to a fillet, where it rounds it off, we have what's called a chamfer. And so what it wanted us to do was to apply a point or a 1/32nd chamfer to all exterior edges. So if I come here to the distance and type in 1 divided by 32, it's looking for the edges. So I want that exterior edge and that exterior edge, and we'll hit apply. And what it did there was applied a nice chamfered edge to it, which almost makes it look kind of like an iPhone. Okay. There is your base plate. Go ahead and save.